risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I am the guy behind the chair, as always, Jeff. And to my left is Tarek.
I have nothing creative to say, so I'm just going to go ahead and say, hello!
And to my other left is Brian. How do you feel today, Brian?
I don't say this very often, but I have never been happier to have been proven a failure turtle.
Oh yes, of course we are talking about our predictions for last week's Elimination Chamber. And I'm just going to go on record here of saying I am not normally a boastful, prideful man. But in this case,
I told you so!
I am right.
Win. Just win.
Just win.
It's like, I saw that coming a mile away. Very good, Blinken. Well done. Pardon? Who's talking? Who's talking?
Yes.
Who are you? Who are you?
In case you don't know what we're talking about, we're going to get to that in just a minute. But for now, we've got a little bit of stuff to talk about in this week's edition of Backstage News.
Indeed, we shall peek behind the curtain and check in on a little
Backstage News!
News.
And you just gave all of our listeners a heart attack.
The douche is back, baby!
Yes, and you just performed a fatality via audio waves into half of our listeners.
Fatality on our listeners' earbuds. Eardrums.
Yes.
Thank you. With the if they're listening on their headphone earbuds.
Anyway,
headphone earbuds.
Speaking of fatalities, now there's... I don't know what that was.
How are you... Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, we're talking about Bad News Bears. We're talking about Sami Zayn, who is apparently out for rotator cuff surgery until October.
Damn you, Cena! No, just kidding.
It was all your fault, man. It's the typical internet wrestling community do. Just go ahead and blame Cena. It's all your fault. No.
Sami Zayn landed wrong. Tore his rotator cuff. He's out till October. And, yeah, kind of sucks.
It really does.
But these freak injuries, they happen.
Yeah, they do. They really do. And thankfully, at least he was healthy just enough to have himself written off of TV in that excellent match with
KO.
KO, yes.
KO.
With
KO indeed.
Sami Zayn just got KO'd.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Ran into a KO.
A big-time KO. But yeah, at least it doesn't seem like horribly career-threatening. This just seems more like maintenance, from what I gather. But still, at least he's getting it done, and at least we still have plenty enough to keep ourselves entertained with everything going on with NXT and everything else.
Take your time. Take your time. Rehab it correctly. You don't want to end up like your boy D-Bry. Okay? Take your time. Heal all the way. Come back 100%. And everyone will be happy, and we won't have to worry about this again.
Oh, yes.
Come back in October when you're supposed to. And great things are obviously going to come when you come back.
Oh, yes, indeed.
So, we'll see you in a few months.
Speaking of great things on the way, apparently, I'm not sure if you heard this, you probably have. Apparently Samoa Joe has already been upgraded to a full-time roster contract.
I approve this, and it was very smart for WWE to do this, especially with Ring of Honor getting the Destination America deal. As soon as they heard that, they're like, sign him right away! We don't want him to jump!
Actually, from what I saw already, the indicating factor seemed to be because of his T-shirt sales were so incredible strong.
Well, that was another factor.
That makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
That's another factor. I read that as well. But like
they saw the T-shirt sales, and then they saw ROH getting signed to a TV deal, and they're like, okay, immediately get it done. Get it done.
By the way, didn't they just have their first show?
Yeah, and it was
week?
meh.
Oh, you saw it?
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah. It wasn't anything to write home about.
What kind of matches did it have? It was on the card. Do you remember who was on the card?
No.
Is that bad? It was that bad of a show, huh?
Or is it just because you haven't been following Ring of Honor and you don't know who everyone is?
I haven't been following Ring of Honor. I don't know who everyone is.
Okay, I can deal with that.
It was like, first of all, it's only an hour long. So
that's perfect.
That's perfect, but it doesn't give you enough time if you haven't been watching to get to know the characters, to see, and there's not a lot of time to have like big time, like 20-minute matches, and having what I saw was good, but not good enough for me to recommend on a weekly basis just yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Let me ask you this. We have the same provider. What channel is it?
We have the same provider, but your channels are still different than mine.
Oh yeah, different state. Okay, never mind. I just got to look it up then.
Still, I definitely want to look it up and find out if I actually do get Destination America, because I feel like I don't watch too much TV, so I want to see how much of it I actually do have. Because if I've got Destination America, let's face it, I'm going to be watching Ring of Honor all the time.
But I was watching the Twitter feed, and it's a 3-hour wrestling block because you have TNA first on Wednesdays, and then you have ROH on second. And TNA was getting better reviews on Facebook and Twitter, all that. TNA was getting better. People were saying, more people than ROH were saying that TNA had the better show this week.
Well, it's like you said. TNA has been on Destination America for a while. This is Ring of Honor's very first show, and probably most of the people aren't following Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
so
I only heard about it.
They're going in cold
after the fact. Like, really?
We'll see how it goes, but it didn't sell me. The first show didn't sell me like it could have.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just the pilot. It was just the pilot episode.
I normally give it 3 episodes before I start shitting on it.
There you go.
That's the spirit.
So,
yeah, either way, I still definitely want to check it out and see if there's a replay around somewhere.
It's called YouTube.
I tried that, I couldn't find it. Anywho, speaking of
you got to give
Joe,
it more than 2 hours. Come on. Did you try it today or last night?
Yeah, I just tried it today.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll have to look again, but whatever.
Yeah.
But speaking of Samoa Joe, apparently in one of his earlier matches, his debut match on the roster, he debuted on Superstars wrestling Tyson Kidd. Guess what?
Promptly injured Tyson Kidd.
Tyson Kidd is injured.
Neck injury. Oh boy.
And they're saying they're not sure if he is requiring surgery, but they're saying he's definitely not going to be wrestling anytime soon.
He's out indefinitely with an indeterminate neck injury.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
That is just sad, especially after this nice face run that him and Cesaro are doing, and now the question is, especially for me, what's next for Cesaro?
Good question. That's probably
I
don't know.
It's gonna be what I'm sad to say it, but he's now back in Flux.
That's probably the worst place for him.
He had a set story, he had things set up, and it's another one of those freak occurrences that are gonna put him back in Flux, and. I'm sorry, that's probably gonna piss you off, but it's the WWE way. If you have a story, and if you have a tag team storyline, and your tag team partner gets injured, where's the other Uso right now?
Well, the one real difference.
I didn't even notice they were gone, to be honest with you.
The one real difference between with the Usos and someone in the team like Kidd and Cesaro is Kidd and Cesaro were 2 single guys who became the tag team and actually became a nice flowing tag team. I could see Cesaro with Natalya in his corner be running in singles competition, and honestly, I could see him being put in the ranks with Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I can see it. It's just the way that the WWE has been with Cesaro in the past, when people he was feuding with got hurt, or when his tag team partners got hurt, is that he is now in flux. Who knows what's going to happen? He no longer has the storyline of the tag team going after the tag team championships that were stolen from them. So it's now a question of now what? And for Cesaro, when he's in the period of now what, things never go well.
I think the one real difference between then and now is the fact that finally, and I have to emphasize, finally,
The Rock.
I like that. But in all seriousness, finally, Cesaro is a face.
Very true.
When they were holding Cesaro back, it's because he was a heel. With the fact that he actually has Natalya, and when Kid finally does come back, I could see them going back together as a team. And hell, maybe something different. You see Cesaro being successful with Natalya at his side, it will come back a jealous Tyson Kidd, not relationship jealous, just career success jealous. And you can see a good feud with that.
We have enough of relationship jealousy.
Yeah, that's gone out the window, thank God. But I could see Cesaro, if anything, after this whole thing with Ryback and the Big Show and possibly The Miz.
Oh dear.
I can see Cesaro being a next in line person. That he'd be in those matches. But as for Tyson Kidd, same thing with Sami Zayn. Don't come back too fast. Rehab it out. Get all 100% better. You'll come back, and we'll be happy that you come back.
Yes. Speaking of not coming back too fast, you and I were just talking about this earlier. Apparently, according to reports and what Chris Jericho reported on his Twitter machine, he not only is he going to be on the Tokyo tour in July, but he is also on July 3rd going to be wrestling Finn Balor.
I've actually known this for a little while. This has actually been signed for a few weeks now. Jericho posted up on his Twitter feed that he requested to face Finn Balor in Tokyo. It was supposed to be July 4th, but they decided to do Balor versus Owens on July 4th and switch Jericho versus Balor to
so that
to the 3rd. But let's face it, okay, this is Jericho going to give the rub to Finn Balor. Well, whether it's televised or not, Balor's gonna beat Jericho.
Oh yeah,
in Japan, and where that's gonna put him over with the Japan fans huge, which he
already is over with the Japan fans.
Which in turn will make Vince McMahon even higher on this dude than he might already be.
And the fact that he has a title match with Kevin Owens the next night. Which is
let's face it, Chris Jericho is one of those guys who Vince McMahon does listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like if Chris Jericho is handpicking this person to work with, like Fandango was forced upon Chris Jericho.
We all know where that.
That's why did you go there?
Hey, I didn't go there.
You're the one who first brought up Fandango, so it was your fault.
I'm like no, but the point still stands. If Chris Jericho handpicks you to face, then you're basically set. Like the Fandangos, the Rybacks, the Bray Wyatts, the ones who are forced upon Chris Jericho to face. Okay, they are not. Really?
What?
Mr. Grin on the forced upon?
What is this? What did I miss here?
I'm just waiting for a punchline. Anyway, continue.
There is no punchline. They don't do well.
Okay.
Afterwards. Yeah. It's like, where's Fandango right now? Where's Bray Wyatt? Bray Wyatt is in flux. losing to a not 100% Roman Reigns, who's gotten his ass beat the entire night.
Okay,
And then,
we'll talk about that one later. But
And
I'm
then
actually going to
it's like-
defend Bray Wyatt on that one.
and Ryback is finally
Moving on up.
Jericho faced him in, when was that? 2012,
I honestly don't even remember.
2013, maybe. And now he's finally But if Chris Jericho handpicks you, Finn Balor's going to be doing big things in the next year, just the same as Kevin Owens will be.
Oh yeah, big time. Especially with all the noise, with all that bigger crop of NXT guys that are coming in. If they don't know that something's up with all these guys, I would be absolutely astonished by their absolute lunacy of it all. However, we got all this good stuff happening. I do have to share...
Let's talk about the bad stuff.
I do have to... No, it's not bad, so much sad, because we had so much... All this big stuff happening domestically in the States. I recently caught wind of some really sad news. Apparently, over in New Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling, my boy, Shinsuke Nakamura, maybe a couple weeks ago, just recently lost the IWGP Intercontinental title.
Damn.
Yes.
That's actually
You know, when
impressive.
you said sad news, I thought somebody was dead.
No.
That's it.
Yeah, Nakamura's title reign is dead.
Like he's not gonna get it
Yeah.
back. Come on.
Well, that's
Who did he lose it to?
Hiroki Goto, who is pretty
He's the
legit.
one who won the tournament, right?
No, that was I'm blanking on his name. The guy he faced at Wrestle Kingdom 9.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Kota Ibushi. No, the Hiroki Goto is a different guy. He's pretty legit on his own right. Still, I was expecting.
So now he
Something
can
more.
move on and face what's his name for the big time title.
Actually, that's another thing I was going to reference once more. Next month is in New Japan is the G1 Climax. In 1 month.
Jokes.
Yeah.
So many
I'll
jokes.
I'll tell you what. No, I had to laugh at your expense. Go ahead and make the jokes.
No, it's like
You just have to say climax, and that's all that needs to be said. Don't you see the grin on his face? He is like holding in
Well,
all
can't-
the chuckles.
They can't see the grin. This is
Well,
a,
you can hear
is
the
a podcast.
you can hear all the dirty chuckles that is coming from this man.
all you needed to hear was climax, and then just hear jokes.
Hell, you don't even need to hear jokes. You just hear climax, and you just hear Brian.
Hey,
I went Beavis and Butthead for a moment.
hey, I'll tell you what.
But I know that it's a fantastic event. It's always good every year, but I can't with why is it named that?
Because it's Japan. That's why.
Because Japan likes climax jokes.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. You know what's not laughing matter? 1 month straight of at least like 3 or 4 shows every single week, starting July 19th to like August 16th. A month straight.
So we're never gonna see Jeff again.
Oh no, just for all month, I'm just gonna be providing like all these different rankings for the G1 Climax.
DVD Phil, where's DVD Phil?
Oh, I guarantee DVD Phil is gonna be competing for points in this thing.
Brian, the next time we see Jeff after all this, he will be our facial hair rating. He will be goat face. He will be full beard. He will be slow stages of each facial hair
And
rating.
you know what? I'm in the face of all this. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I think Shinsuke Nakamura is gonna win the G1 Climax this year.
I won't be surprised.
Well, now that he doesn't have a title, it makes sense now, doesn't it?
Oh yes.
And
I-
do you win a
Coincidence?
title
I
shot?
think not.
Do you win a title shot if you win the climax?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like the Royal Rumble. If you win it, you not only do you get a title shot in the main event of, in this case, Wrestle Kingdom 10.
Well, there you go.
There you
Then he
go,
wins the Nakamura wins the G1 climax,
With how
And
regularly over he is, especially now that
and then
the
goes on to
East
win the
has
title.
has caught on to how good he is. I think he's got a good shot as anybody.
He's in a music video, damn it.
Hell, 2 music videos.
Hell, he's Michael Caine in Austin Powers 3. He's like, you don't even have a name tag. Just lie down. Just lie down for me. You know, it's like, do you know who I am? Lay down for me. Yeah, Jericho pin. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be the entire tournament, pretty much.
What if he does it to DVD Phil? How would you feel then?
Well, you know what?
DVD Phil took a dive.
DVD Phil took one for the team.
Yeah.
Just imagine DVD Phil wins.
Oh, God.
Rejoice!
I would love it.
I wouldn't know how to respond to that.
Rejoice for DVD Phil.
Hey, apparently he's done pretty well in these tournaments before. I'm not sure. I think might have actually...
Nakamura versus DVD
Phil. You were going to say DDP Phil, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. DVD Phil in the finals of the tournament. The scholars are going crazy because whoever... Doesn't matter who wins. We're all good.
We all win.
Hey, speaking for yourself, I want Nakamura. But...
Hey, you know what?
The scholars win.
But you wouldn't be upset if DVD Phil won. Don't even lie. Don't even lie.
It would just be... It's just...
No.
Zip, zip, zip. We would have the match... If we would ever have the match, we win. Simple as that. Done. Doesn't matter who wins, even though Jeff would say otherwise.
I will say, however, that chances are going to be good that with all the matches and all the events going on for this entire month, I would be shocked if the guys still run into each other at least once or twice.
Backstage confrontation?
Oh, no, in actual matches.
Oh, okay.
Because this isn't like a straight tournament because they're competing for points. You get like...
Oh, yeah.
You get like 2 or 3 points for a win and then just like 1 point for a loss.
And then isn't it like at the end of a week, the... lowest amount of points is are there eliminations or just
I'm not sure actually. It's like divided up into halves, like there's one half and then there's like the other half. It's almost like the National League and the American League, where I guess at the end they'll just like compete in like a World Series or something.
I was gonna say isn't like the top ranked guys just get put in the tournament and when it's all done, like with like rallying up the points, the top guys, like I don't know, maybe top 10.
We're gonna have to watch and find out for ourselves.
Yeah, this is gonna be my first G1 climax. I'm a G1 climax version.
Just stop. Just stop it right there.
We are all G1 climax versions. Okay,
I thought I was the only one.
And apparently we're gonna reach our climax when we watch this event. There. That's how you end it. That's how you end it. Climax done.
Of course, that all depends.
Done. Move on.
All right,
Brian. I'm going to be scooting away from you now.
Yeah,
moving on.
Yeah, I think this backstage news segment is done.
We've gone off the rails. Time to bring it back.
We've reached the climax to our backstage news. Oh!
All right, I'm done with you, Looney Tunes. Let's just get right into it.
It's not even late. What's happening?
Let's just talk about Elimination Chamber. And wow, we were talking about this way before we got on the air and started taping this thing.
And I forgot everything I was going to say. No, just kidding.
Well, let's run down the card and we'll see if we can't jog that memory a little bit. First off, we had apparently Stardust going over Zack Ryder. I'll be honest with you, I did not catch this match. I just watched the main show itself.
It was perfectly acceptable wrestling, but it was it meant nothing, but it's like...
No, it meant something. It meant something. It's Stardust gaining momentum for when he faces Green Arrow at SummerSlam. That's all it was for.
Stephen Amell can deny it all he wants, but...
It's happening.
Yeah, if the announcers are talking about it that much... It's going down. Okay, that's it. And, because the entire match was spent talking about Stardust going after the Green Arrow. So it's like, yeah.
We all know what this means.
Stephen Amell, you can deny it on Twitter all you want, buddy. You're signed to face Stardust at SummerSlam.
And you will like it.
Yeah. And right before he goes back to filming for, Arrow in September.
Wait, fool! You missed the pre-show.
Yeah, I missed the.
Well,
pre-show.
then you missed a great Miz TV with Daniel Bryan, with our boy Macho Mandel and Axelmania coming in and just taking out the Miz, and they're endorsed by Daniel Bryan.
and by the way, for the Stardust and Zack Ryder match, it's Peach Fuzz.
Peach Fuzz?
It was like 5 minutes long. It was perfectly acceptable wrestling, but it was like 5 minutes long. I can't give it any more than a Peach Fuzz.
So would you say it's more of an appetizer?
Stop it!
No.
Stop!
No, it wasn't even an appetizer. It was like a carrot. It was a carrot in the salad for the main course.
So
the appetizer was Miss TV.
Okay.
Oh my God, you!
I had to do it just because I know it aggravates Stark so much when I use that analogy.
And it succeeds.
Gotta bring in the food.
Yes. Please.
God.
No.
Stop
just
it.
No.
There's a filet mignon in our future.
Oh yeah.
now all that Axelmania and Macho Man Down the East is an endorsement from Hulkamania himself, Hulk Hogan. Now that Axelmania is a face, now he can be fully endorsed. I can see Hulk Hogan coming in, like them doing some backstage segment, and Hulk Hogan comes in. It's nice to see you taking your vitamins and doing your prayers, brother. And then, yeah.
Train, say your prayers, take your vitamins.
Say your prayers, take your vitamins, and
don't do work.
I actually approve this, brother. Randy Macho Man Savage would be proud of you. Something like that. Eventually.
Yes.
Maybe.
At least they're on the right track, and so is Sandow. So it's all good.
No, Mandow.
Sandow.
No Sandow. No Sandow.
Dandow. Landau.
What the? Dandow? What the hell is that?
I don't know. That's a segue.
That's a segue to what?
A segue to an awesome tag chamber match.
I didn't think it was awesome.
Stop. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're talking about the New Day winning the tag team title Elimination Chamber match thingy of champions.
I did not think this match was awesome.
Really? I'm surprised. What did you think of it?
It was a clusterfuck of epic proportions. Like, with logic holes aplenty. Okay? Why is a member of one team breaking up the pin of a person on the other team? Why? What's the point?
Because
Brian, if you're gonna have to look at that, it happens in both matches. It happened in both chamber matches.
No, but this is different.
It's still it's stupid. Yes,
it's stupid and it makes no sense. And the spots took too long to set up, and it was not awesome. It was good, but it was not amazing, and it gets a classic OT for me. It was perfectly fun to watch, but there was too much. There was too much going on that was wrong, or took that spot for the Kalisto on the top of the chamber. It's like those guys I would have just gotten out of the way. It took like a minute to get the move to actually work. You're just sitting there, and it's like, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be cool. He's still swinging. Why is he still swinging? I'm bored now. That's
It was like 3 seconds.
No, it really wasn't.
Okay, 4 seconds.
No, it really wasn't. But it's like it got. I'm not saying it was bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't. There was nothing that I hadn't seen before in an Elimination Chamber match. There were logic holes up the ass. I was happy that the primetime players were the last ones to be beaten by the New Day. The pin on Cesaro kind of came out of nowhere. And I was happy with the reaction that Titus O'Neil was getting. And this was the better of the two Elimination Chamber matches.
Oh, yes.
But for me, that's not saying that much.
Well,
and it gets the classic OT for me.
I will tell you this. Even if the match itself wasn't great, I certainly had a lot of fun with this match. Not just because of the high spots, but because how fresh everything seemed within the WWE Tag Team title scene as this match was going down. Of course, you mentioned the primetime players, which I'm very glad for.
I did like the spot where they put Titus's head through the, even though that's been done before. But I did like the spot where they put Titus's head through the Elimination Chamber.
Oh yeah.
And he's just hanging there choking or whatever. It's been done before, but it never was such a big man. Okay,
I was gonna say Titus has a bigger head, so
yeah, a couple.
You can see the pain.
A few years back, I guess it was Kofi.
Yeah,
that got stuck in there. But like
Kofi's a tiny man.
He got stuck in there, and no one was actually beating up on him when he was stuck in there. When it happened, when it went down in that match, you had Titus O'Neil was getting the crap beat out of him while he was choking, and then they went to beat up on Darren Young. But there were nice spots, but there was just I couldn't see what was going on half the time. Okay, some of the spots. The Kalisto getting pulled from the New Day, getting pulled down.
Yeah,
that took like 2 minutes too long.
Okay,
I agree. That one was a little bit.
I actually read what happened there. If you look at that one spot carefully, before Kalisto actually got on top of the cell or on the chamber, he leapfrogged over Sin Cara. And he actually landed chest first right into the chamber. So
that was more of a rest break?
It was more of a rest break for him to catch his breath, because apparently that knocked the wind out of him. And he was telling the people of New Day, keep me up here, make it look like I'm stuck up here and you're keeping me there.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I saw that. And as soon as Kalisto made contact at the chamber, like, ooh, that's gotta hurt. So
I was like, either something's wrong or this is taking way too long.
Yeah, so Kalisto actually was trying to catch his breath during that whole segment. But yeah, I will agree with you. The match, I'm going to say both chamber matches were a mess.
At least this one
had some high spots. It was the cleaner one of the mess, but it was still a mess. You were talking about that spot when Kalisto was on top of the structure. And he was just swinging. And yeah, that part did take too long. And when he finally did drop, he almost missed the guys.
Yeah. They had to move in order to catch him. And it's like in that they're standing there
waiting for him to drop.
Waiting for him for like 20 seconds. Because he's got to swing and get the momentum so he can go
we drop.
Yeah,
I must say the highlight moment of this match was involved with someone who wasn't even in the match in general, and that was when Titus threw El Torito to whichever Los Matadores was.
That wasn't Titus. That was one of the Ascension.
Was it one of the Ascension?
It was one of the Ascension.
It was a big guy. One of the big guys.
It was Victor, I think.
El Torito and just darted him to the members of Los Matadores, and you just see him land hard into the structure, and I'm like, damn! Yeah, I was like, that had to hurt. And of course, Los Matadores got taken out like that, and I was actually surprised Lucha Dragons got taken out immediately after.
I know. As soon as I saw that,
it kind of seemed like they were trying to build up the Ascension as like bullies. They're all bullies. Like, we're going after the little guys. They're easy to pick off. That kind of thing.
And it did help them though. It did make them look like strong.
And it made who was it? The Primetime Players that took them out.
I think it was Cesaro. I think it was Kid and Cesaro.
It made them look better for taking out the guys who were throwing everybody around in the first 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, and I think that's another reason why I enjoyed this match so much. It's because it made everyone look strong. Everyone who already looked strong, it didn't hurt them much at
except
all.
Los Matadores.
Except
and they were the weak link. They were the ones who were just put in there for the spots.
From when hell they didn't really get a spot.
They were in there for that torpedo spot.
They weren't even in. They were like there for a good minute, 2 tops.
Yeah, legit.
They didn't do anything in this chamber.
They were in there so that the Ascension could look good by torpedoing the Matador.
Even so, the people who needed to look good in this match looked good. The Ascension needed a push. They looked better. The Primetime Players, they were on their way back up. They needed a push. They looked great in this match.
And now look where they're at now. their number one contenders for Money in the Bank.
There you go.
There you go. Exactly.
And honestly, I'm glad for that, and that for me really helped my enjoyment of this match, just because it was something different. Sure, the execution on some things was a little sloppy, but again, it really wouldn't compare to some of the other things we would see later on tonight.
It was
a lot of fun.
It was their first ever tag team chamber match. I'm sure if they have any more in the future, they'll learn from the mistakes in this one.
Oh yeah,
and that's why I gave it a pass on some of the stuff. Like, I could have gone Peach Fuzz for this. As I was watching it, I was like, yo. As one member of one team was saving a member of the other team, and I was like, why? Why are you doing that? I was like, Peach Fuzz tops. Okay? But once teams started getting eliminated, and it became more tag team match-like, the match got better. Mm-hmm. As it was going on, and I was like, okay, it's getting better now. I can bring it up to a goatee, because I did enjoy the last 5 to 10 minutes of the thing. Once people started getting eliminated, because I liked the New Day. I liked how they won. I liked the whole all three can fight thing, but it was like, as soon as you heard that all three can fight, I was like,
well,
New Day, easy win.
Yeah.
And so it was like, another reason for the goatee is because the victor was never in doubt for me. You have 3 guys in, they come in last, and half the teams are out already.
Champions usually come in last.
Yeah, but I mean, you also add in the extra member, and it's like, okay, it's obvious who's going to win here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that kind of deadens the enjoyment down a little bit for me when you know who's going to win. And the first 10 minutes, clusterfuck, horrible. I didn't like it. And then once the torpedo happened, and people started getting eliminated, and it got cleaner and crisper and all that, I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this more. It's getting good now, and the primetime players are getting over, and Titus O'Neil is getting some of the biggest cheers of the night.
Ora.
Like,
oh, that dog bark.
Yeah, and so the end of the match was good, but the beginning of the match sucked for me, and so put him in the middle and get a classic OT out of it.
Yeah, that's fair. And I believe you and Tark both predicted this correctly, right?
Yes.
Yay. I did not. I'm behind. Whatever.
You and your NXT favor.
Hey, we'll get to that. In the meantime, we also had to get through, for the Divas title, Nikki Bella defeating Paige and Naomi. None of us saw this coming.
This was another sloppy one.
Oh, yeah.
This match was just...
Did the other two know that Nikki Bella was trying to kick somebody on that kick that she just completely whiffed?
I honestly don't know. And,
I don't know.
And this match, this is the match that actually angered me. Just because I'm looking at this at a storyline perspective, where do you go from here? And then from what I saw on Monday with apparently they're turning Nikki and Brie heel again.
What was the point of turning the face?
What was the turn of the face?
I don't know.
So now, and okay, is WWE trying to insult our intelligence? Are they?
If I didn't know better, I'd say that they were.
Brie Bella and Nikki Bella are two, like, they may be twins, but they have completely different body structures. Brie Bella is more thin and I guess a better word, toned?
Yeah, toned is a good word.
And then you look at Nikki, who is more curvy and...
Thicky Nikki.
You know what? That's the best way to put it. Thicky Nikki, you know what?
Thicky Nikki.
And, really, Evil Bella boobs. Now we can call her Evil Bella boobs again, apparently.
She always was Evil Bella boobs.
Even though she was wearing clothes that were similar, Nikki Bella's attire was more bedazzled than Brie's. And just because you had, like, fake
Extensions?
Were they extensions? The little
I
blonde
don't-
parts?
Oh,
That were-
highlights.
Highlights, thank you.
I
The
was
little
like, what are you
highlights.
trying to-
I'm sorry. And then, Mike Chioda, he sees Nikki Bella get in the ring after Brie gets the pin on Paige. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Mike Chioda, you're like the veteran referee. Are you that stupid in saying that you don't see what they were doing, pulling the quote twin magic?
He was entranced by the evil Bella moves.
I was like, is WWE thinking we're stupid? Because seriously, what the hell? What is this proving? Now we have a Paige versus Nikki Bella. Seriously, I think the only reason now that they're keeping the title on Nikki Bella is to try and go over AJ's title reign. Because she's the longest reigning Divas champion. I think they're going to try and do that. But really, what is the point of this? It's waste of time. It was Naomi's time to shine. And I'm not just saying this because she was my prediction. It was because she was the main focus point of this feud. She was the one getting the big push out of this. And of course, she's gone. Where'd she go? Who knows? Apparently WWE doesn't care.
Nikki Bella is the John Cena of the women's division.
Well, that's what happens when you're banging the guy.
Yep.
Oh, man. Again, I think we could all just rant about the state of the women's division right now.
No, in the prediction show, we were excited for this.
Yeah,
we were
but we
into
see
it.
what they're doing
and now
now.
look what they did. They now pull a 180 on us. Now we're the complete opposite.
Yeah,
we're
and
pissed.
I honestly
We're
can't
back
say
to
I'm
where
surprised.
we're back to where we were when the Bellas were acting against each other, and the acting was so bad, and now we're back to that.
Oh God, this is just
It's like Paige, do us a solid, okay? Do us a solid and get the title back, please.
I'll tell you what.
Please,
unless they come
then
up
bring
with
up
something spectacular. I don't think I'm gonna find anything too interesting in the mainline Divas division right now. Until
female Nexus comes up.
Until the NXT dam breaks and all the
Paige
female
the
talent
title.
moves up there.
Give Paige the title and then bring Charlotte up. You have SummerSlam. You have SummerSlam right there.
Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
That's it.
Moving on.
Yeah.
I'm done with this.
Yeah.
This doesn't even get a rating. We're too pissed off to give it a rating.
I'm
This
not
is
even
my
gonna-
rating. A middle finger. That's my rating.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not even going to get. I'm just going to give a rating to the show as a whole. I'm not even going to give individual match ratings, except maybe this one.
Do we even need to talk about what
Kevin
the rating's
Owens.
going to be for this one?
So Kevin Owens comes out to fight John Cena. We're expecting a really great back and forth match. We get it. How long does this thing go on? Like 15,
About 20
minutes?
minutes.
I would say more than 20, around 20
Everyone
minutes
was-
to 15.
Everyone gets their high spots in. We're expecting, okay. At least I'm expecting. Okay, Cena's gonna hit one more AA. Blah,
It's like,
blah.
I was like to say, yeah, you were expecting.
And then all of a
I
sudden-
pulled my devil's advocate last week.
Yeah, I made the same prediction.
No, I was expecting.
I was being optimistic here, and then but it might not really happen. All of a sudden, pop up powerbomb 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens beats John Cena clean, and I'm just sitting there like, did that really just happen?
While you were sitting there confused, like, wait, did that really just happen? I was jumping all over my apartment, just going, yes, yes. And then you see the little girl in the Cena attire crying, and I'm just like, yes, bring on the tears, you little shit, bring on the tears.
No, and then I see the dude, the big dude in the front row. That's just like, and I was like, damn right, buddy, damn right.
I was so happy.
I will
Oh,
say
that
this
was so
right
beautiful.
now, okay, for what it means. This is my match of the year, and nothing is gonna change that.
You
For
took the
what it
words.
means.
Okay, that is hot, mighty.
Put
high
it down.
praise.
Put it down right now.
Okay.
If it changes, if it changes, good for the WWE. But for what it means, okay, the NXT matches that I've said have been match of the year. Okay, this is bigger in the scope of things than all that. All of that. It's bigger than all that because Kevin Owens came in his first match ever. WWE beat John Cena in a 5-star match. This was glorious. All of it. There was no downtime in this match. They were going all out for all 20 minutes of it. Kevin Owens made John Cena pick up his game. John Cena was selling the crap out of everything that Kevin Owens was doing. When was the last time that happened?
For me, it was when
Long
John
ago.
Cena faced Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam.
And just that suplex from the top rope. My God. John
Wow.
Cena trusts nobody to do any move like that at any point. And he let Kevin Owens do it to him. That move for me, whether John Cena put Kevin Owens over clean or not, that proved to me that John Cena is willing to work with Kevin Owens, and that's big doings for Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah,
He's taking power bombs on his back. When was the last time you see John Cena take a power bomb and not lying on his ass? That's it.
Oh, man.
Just for what it means for the WWE as a whole and for Kevin Owens. Okay, if anything tops this for the rest of the year, good on the WWE, but mark it down right now. Put it in the record books. This is my match of the year. All the fucking goats.
Brian, after hearing everything you just said, you have made me a very happy scholar because you have taken every single thing that I said last week and made it a reality.
I have never been so happy to be wrong.
Everything that I said last week came into fruition. This is the match that everyone is going to be talking about that came from this event. Nothing else. This was the match that everyone's going to be talking about because WWE did something that we thought can never happen. It made a star. It made a future man.
A future man.
A future WWE superstar, future Hall of Famer. This man is set. And that is exactly what needed to happen. And I was saying it last week, and I predicted that it was going to. It happened exactly as I predicted. I said that Owens was going to go over, and Owens was going to go over clean, and it's making NXT look awesome. It's bringing more people into buying the network to watch NXT. Everything is set.
And the shock was real.
And the shock. Yes, the shock was real. And I am going to... You took the words right out of my mouth. This is my match of the year as well.
Really?
And
We're calling it already.
Yeah, we're halfway into the year. This is my match of the year. Hands down.
Including NXT stuff.
There hasn't been a single match this entire year that has gotten me so excited, that had me so pumped while I was watching it. Granted, there was one point I'm just like, oh my god, enough with the pins, man. It was just move, pin.
And John Cena, please stop doing that stunner. You never hit it correctly.
Oh, boy.
I didn't even care about that. I was in hook, line, and sinker. You had me just at the edge of my seat, going absolutely nuts. And like I said, as soon as the match ended, I jumped and was cheering, calling a random little girl that saw Cena lose a little shit, and basically pulling a carbon. Your tears are so yummy. Your tears are so yummy. And,
your tears give me life.
and like I said, now they're wanting to push Kevin Owens as the number 2 heel of the company, right behind Seth.
Future man.
Just stop it.
The future is now.
It might not have been the best wrestled match of the year, even though it's close.
Yeah,
okay,
that was
the
really
best
up there.
wrestled match, okay, is Balor.
Breeze.
I'm too excited from this match to remember
And you
which
know
match
what?
I'm talking
Not
about.
for
Balor
nothing.
versus Neville.
Not for nothing. This
But-
match was a really well wrestled match in its own right.
It really
Yeah,
was. It
and
really
it's
was.
like, but Balor versus Neville, which was my match of the year before, didn't get me as excited for the future as this match did, because this is real. This is Kevin Owens going over the top guy in the company, whether you like it or not.
And that's exactly. And now it's made him a man. Even though I'm
Now
actually
you're
now,
a
now,
man.
now I'm actually
A mile,
I'm actually
mile,
segueing
mile.
into what the whole promos thing that happened on Raw. John Cena saying that Kevin Owens isn't a man. I'm like, you silly boy, you silly Cena, you're typical. You're not a man because you're speaking truth. Because yeah, it is about role models, and yes, you're like when Owens was talking about
Owens at
yeah,
this point.
when Kevin Owens was saying, "Oh, is John all right?" I was like, "Yeah, but your dad won against him." I would be more like, dude, if my dad was in a match with John Cena and beat him clean, I would be like, Dad, you are the man.
Seriously.
No,
how
I
much
guarantee
want
you that's
that?
what he actually said.
Oh yeah,
but
exactly.
That's,
but storyline purposes.
Yeah.
Storyline purposes.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, I see Kevin Owens is more in the right here, as saying like John Cena is more of a superhero because that's how he's presented as, with the T-shirts, the slogans and all that.
I would have
The
went
wristband.
apeshit if Kevin Owens made a Dark Side reference, and was like, I beat Superman.
I would have liked that.
I turned into Dark Side and I took down
You
Superman.
mean Doomsday?
Doomsday. Same thing.
Doomsday killed Superman. They're not the same thing, man.
Actually, Doomsday didn't actually kill Superman. He just beat him to put him in a coma so his body could heal.
But Doomsday beat.
You turds.
You church?
Yeah, and then it's one of
But yeah,
I don't. Here's the thing with that promo. Okay, Kevin Owens cut a hell of a promo. I believe in his thing of a role model being, I say I'm gonna do something, I go out and do it. That's my idea of a role model. At the time, I was pissed off that John Cena brought up the
cancer girl.
the girl who beat cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is typical John Cena shit. Okay, he's got to put himself over the other guy by doing something that he can't come back. He can't come back to because then he's a dick for all time because he's going in on Cancer Girl. And but once you're thinking about role models, it makes sense because John Cena's doing all the Make-A-Wish stuff while Kevin Owens is saying he's going to beat people and doing it. And then, but I'm like, I would have done it differently because Kevin Owens beat you the night before. He said he was going to beat you. He came in and beat you. Kevin Owens, if I was the writer, I would have had Kevin Owens come back with like, really? We're going to go there? Okay, fine. You do all this stuff for your fans. No one's disputing your accomplishments and deeds as a man. Okay? I am disputing your accomplishments and deeds as a wrestler. I beat you last night. I have nothing left to prove. I didn't have to give you a rematch, but I did because I want to take you out. And when I beat you at Money in the Bank, okay, you can ride off into the sunset and be Make-A-Wish man all you want. Do your deeds, be the man you want to be, okay, but you're gonna have to get out of my ring.
I would like to see him do that.
and then walk off. Last word, and then John Cena can celebrate, and then John Cena can bring the
Cancer Girl.
The girl who beat cancer into the ring and do what they did during the commercial break.
I thought it was after the show they did that, not commercial break.
I thought it was after the show too.
Or during the commercial break after the show.
But
whichever.
Yeah.
Hell, imagine.
I thought at the time that it was exploitation for Cheers. I really thought that.
I can imagine if they pulled the video clip of Cena doing that with the girl, and all of a sudden Kevin Owens comes out on stage and just be like, and then walks away.
Oh please! Again, this was only week one. I know we've got so much more development.
Oh yeah, I could.
Well, there's only 2 weeks.
Yeah,
That's it.
Dude. Next week's the prediction show.
Jeez, we're swimming in prediction show.
We're swinging a prediction show.
Hey, then we got 6 weeks after the till another one. Okay,
until Battleground.
All right.
Yeah, it's just 2 weeks, and then we can do stories.
Yeah.
That's it.
Time shall tell.
It's been a very weird month.
Oh yes,
month and a half.
But yeah, all the goats. All the goats.
All the goats. All right. next up, we got a little bit of an intermission here, and even this was good. Neville beating Bo Dallas. I think we all got this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I personally don't
If
have
anyone
too
picked
much to
Bo
say here.
Dallas, I'd take your prediction card.
No, we all picked Neville for this one.
No, I mean, like, anybody who...
The
like,
world at large.
The world at large. You are no longer a predictor. There was no way that Bo Dallas was going to win this match.
But it was an entertaining...
It was good.
It was a good, entertaining intermission match.
Yes.
That's what it was. It was an intermission.
It was a palate cleanser.
It was a palate cleanser. To get the crowd back into it.
Let the
because
crowd...
they were worn out.
Yeah, it was the match that was like, okay, crowd, rest. You need it.
Yes.
After what you just saw, you needed a break. Here's your break with Neville and Bo Dallas.
And for that, I will give it a classic OT. Because it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It got the crowd back into it. And Neville wins. And it was well executed. But it was 8 minutes long. I can't give it any more than a classic OT.
Yeah, that's fair. And you know what? That's more than fine with me.
And now back to the mess.
Yes. Back to the mess. Next up, we got the Intercontinental Title Chamber.
Woof!
Ryback wins, which I was glad for. I liked who won. I liked all that. The execution.
R-Truth got an elimination!
Somebody backstage seriously hates Wade Barrett.
Oh man!
Someone must really hate him.
He got pinned by Trufus. That's it.
Okay. Let's go about this from the very beginning, with when they announced who was replacing Rusev, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
Why?
That was weak sauce.
Here, they were in Texas, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
It makes
That is exact. That's the
else.
only reason. And I must say that is the lamest excuse for a reason. Bullshit.
I call bullshit.
Seriously.
Before we go any further, though, I do have to ask: was I the only one a little confused as far as what was going on with Sheamus?
Why?
Apparently, people thought that his cage door wouldn't open, but it was actually he put a cross.
Oh yeah, we'll talk
in the door so that he wouldn't come out.
The only problem with that, the real problem with that, the commentary didn't talk about it. They didn't even mention it once. That's why it came off so confusing. Because the commentators had no idea what was going on.
We blamed the Sheamus situation on the commentators.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's later. Back to the going each step of the match. And then, who started? Barrett and R-Truth? Oh no, Barrett and Ziggler.
Barrett and Ziggler started.
And then, it's so funny, I kept trying to think who was going to be the next person in. And it's always not. I'm like, damn you!
I figured it was going to be Trufus. You can't get the big guys in first. You gotta.
That was okay. Cancel that. That was actually what happened in the tag team match. I always kept saying it's the primetime players next. Nope. Now it's the primetime players. Nope. That's what happened. This one I was like, okay. I was actually texting Dave during this match. I'm like, okay, open the door for Truth. Take him out. Let him get eliminated right away. We don't need him.
Instead,
it looks like that's what they were going to do with Wade Barrett, just going right in and taking out R-Truth in the chamber. I'm like, yes, take him out. Why aren't you? And then he's like, why is he still in this match? And then what was it? Wade Barrett throws Dolph Ziggler into Mark Henry's chamber, and it breaks. And that wasn't supposed to happen. Mark Henry just looked so confused. He had no idea what was going on. He's like, should I come in? The second Mark Henry comes in, you see Dolph Ziggler trying to bring the match back in order because it was a complete mess.
Yeah, it was like everything went wrong or was sloppily done.
As soon as Henry came in, because you see him standing there watching Barrett and Ziggler go at it, and then him breaking up once again. With you, Brian, he broke up a pin.
Why?
and then the crown jewel for me that made me yell, that made me drop the biggest F-bomb. They all went after Wade Barrett, and they had R-Truth pin the 2015 King of the Ring.
Just adding credence to the fact that the King of the Ring means nothing. Now,
it's not even just that the King of the Ring means nothing. It's the fact that Wade Barrett means nothing in the eyes of someone backstage in WWE. That's all I was saying. From the rest of the match to the next day, when I was talking with my friend about it at work, someone backstage seriously doesn't like Wade Barrett to be booking him in such a terrible fashion.
Let me just put this match this way. He called it a mess. Okay? A mess can be entertaining. Okay? And that is why I gave the tag team match a classic OT. Because while it was a mess, it was still entertaining. For the most part. Okay? This was boring.
Yeah,
I was bored out of my mind.
This match really didn't do much for me. I wasn't sure at first whether or not I was just burned out on the other two matches that we saw previously. But either way, this match it was really sloppy.
I feel very confident in saying that this was the worst Elimination Chamber match of all time.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
No,
December to Dismember.
No, that was better than this.
Wow.
And all right, and now we go on to the whole thing with Sheamus. That we all think he couldn't open the pod, and we're going with it. It was like, okay, he can't open the pod. What's going on? I'm thinking there's some kind of shenanigans. He's gonna pull a heel thing and pull a cheap victory on whoever comes out or whoever is left. Next thing you know, you see he pulls out his cross that kept the door closed. Commentators weren't even bringing it up. That's why it came off so bad in the show, because the commentators weren't like, oh my god, Sheamus was keeping the door closed while everyone was taking each other out. Now, Sheamus, and then JBL, Sheamus, that evil plotter, I love him so much. It's such genius.
Ball game, Michael.
It's such genius. Oh, speaking of commentators, did you notice that Jerry the King Lawler called JBL JR?
Yes.
Oh, King, we love you.
Of course, that the commentary team wouldn't let up.
Yeah, they wouldn't shut up about. They were actually kind of killing it to the ground. But moving on.
No, I think Michael Cole was pissed.
But you know,
well, probably after that, I can imagine there was a little bit of embarrassment going around. But hey, again.
But still, moving on.
We did thankfully get the big guy.
Sheamus and Ryback, they were the ones taking out the rest of the people. If you look at the facts, there was only 3 people that did eliminations in this chamber match. 2 for Sheamus, 2 for Ryback, and 1 for R-Truth. 1 for R-Truth. Okay, I can't. It pissed me off to a point, but you know what? I gotta try and move past it. I gotta try. And then the last 2 was Ryback and Sheamus, and that was actually it was clean. As soon as they took out Mark Henry and it was Ziggler, Sheamus, and Ryback, it was back to really being a match. But at that point, it was like the damage was done.
It's too late. It's too late to come back.
The damage was done. They were trying their best. You could definitely tell Dolph Ziggler was trying to take control of the match, like telling people what to do. I applaud him for trying his best, but it was seriously. You had someone like Mark Henry who hasn't been in the ring since he got taken out by Roman Reigns. He had no idea what was going on, and I love Mark Henry, but he looked like a complete idiot after Wade Barrett threw Ziggler into the wall, into the chamber, and it wasn't supposed to be that way. He wasn't supposed to break out, and you can tell.
Because Mark Henry was like,
he looked completely confused. He looked like a deer looking at the headlights. He was like, and
my thing's open. Am I supposed to go out now?
Seriously, you could have actually used that. Like, it's improv with what you're going with.
You just go out and start wrecking shit.
You could have just been like, just looked at Wade Barrett and smiled and went after him. That would have gotten people invested. But no, and then basically talk to Wade Barrett and Dolph Ziggler during the like, okay, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? No, you look like a complete idiot. And then the rest of the match looked completely ridiculous. And you had Ryback pulling a shell shock on Sheamus, the final two, and the match was over. And we have a new Intercontinental Champion in Ryback, and now, like what we said earlier, he has Big Show and The Miz. It's unofficial, but they're saying that's what their match at Money in the Bank is going to be.
And The Miz is only there to take a pin.
Pretty much, yeah.
But it's talking about the December to Dismember. Okay, that was a mess, but it was entertaining enough for me, at least. But this was just.
It was just.
This was
repairs.
Garbage.
This was beyond repair.
Yeah, this one, to me, it was just cringeworthy by how everything was executed.
And you guys know me, for this being for the Intercontinental Championship, I was like, okay, please let them do something right with Ryback, with him winning this title.
I like the end where
I like
D-Bry
hands in the belt
and gave it to him because they were traveling buddies. And so it makes sense.
And
yeah,
what
Ryback
was saying to Daniel was like, "You are my inspiration." It felt legit. It helps make Ryback once again a three-dimensional character. I like that. It made him look good. It made him look like a man.
I'm fine with the champion choice. I am not fine with the match.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's exactly right.
We can always turn around. Now we have another pay-per-view coming up. We can do any number of things with this. But for now, we got a decent champion in Ryback. Anyway, moving on to our main event, finally, we have Ambrose defeating Seth Rollins.
A dusty finish done right.
Via DQ.
A dusty finish done right. It's been so long since we had one done right, and it's been long enough since we've had a dusty finish that it kind of feels fresh again. And the reaction from Seth Rollins that became memes everywhere. The greatness.
The face.
Greatness. That's it.
You know what? I was a little confused when I first saw how this thing was ending. But you know what? After all this time, I'm actually kind of okay with this because I compare it to what they did with Daniel Bryan with the whole dusty finish and all the screw jobs and all that.
Yeah.
But the big difference maker for me is Daniel Bryan isn't the type to run off with a title.
He's not a kleptomaniac.
Dean Ambrose is.
Yeah, and that's what put it over the top for me because Dean Ambrose wins via dusty finish and makes up and still takes the title.
Yeah, I'm not normally a big fan of finishes like that on pay-per-views, but since we're getting 2 a month now, it seems, that one's not bad.
It's actually really funny because I could be perfectly honest, I actually fell asleep during this match. Yeah. It wasn't because I was bored. Quite the opposite. It was just simply because I was tired.
Yeah, I honestly did the same thing. I woke up the next morning and I still looked at the .com. I was like, "What on earth did I miss?"
No,
I had to go and catch the replay.
I actually woke up after the match ended, and the first thing I see is Dean Ambrose in the crowd holding the title up, and I'm just like, "Wait!" I'm like, "Wait, what just happened? Wait, what did I miss?" I actually had to press rewind and just it's like, "Oh." This actually fits with this storyline, especially with the whole Seth Rollins pushing the camera guy. It makes perfect sense for him to pull an official into Dean Ambrose, and I liked it. I'm like, this actually like I said, it keeps the feud going, and it makes Dean Ambrose look good because he did technically pull the victory, like the actual pin victory. He did pull a pin victory out of it. Mm-hmm. It made him look strong. It made Seth Rollins look weak, which moving on to what
look weak, but the reaction when they said Seth Rollins still champion brings it right back again.
Oh yeah,
brings it right back.
And that work. And it brings me to the question on what happened on Raw with Roman Reigns calling Seth Rollins the worst champion of all time.
That I'm not on board with. I know it's probably just him playing the face card, but if someone like Roman Reigns is saying it, I'm pretty confident that someone in the back actually believes it.
Here's the thing with me. In certain extents, I can actually, like, okay, storyline wise, it kind of does make sense, because really looking back, and Seth Rollins, like, either defending the title or just him in matches. When is the last time you haven't seen...
He won without help.
He won without the help of J&J Security or Kane. And, oh, God.
Try not to hit me in the face.
Sorry.
I don't know what that is.
Isn't it? I think it's the saddest thing that Kane has moved back to being J&J Security number 3. I mean, I liked it when he was involved when Triple H and Stephanie were gone. He was the man in charge, and he was.
But now that they're back,
he's back to being the lackey. I don't like. And now we have Kane saying he's in the Money in the Bank to try and take down Roman Reigns. It's not that big deal, because Kane is now a J&J Security guy that keeps getting his ass kicked every show. And
honestly, I think the Authority is going to implode in some way before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year, it's going to be closer than that.
And it kind of.
I'm still going to.
And then back with Raw, with them trying to take out Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has Seth Rollins going to temper chest. Like, I don't need the Authority. I don't need any of their help. From the response to the worst champion of all time. And later that night, you have Seth Rollins come in with J&J Security and Kane, completely neglecting what he said earlier. And that it ruined the main event for me.
And then they get taken out by Dean Ambrose
and that's why.
And Roman Reigns.
And that's why I'm not letting Bray Wyatt lose to Roman Reigns get to me so much. Is because if they didn't get involved, I actually would have seen Bray Wyatt actually, storyline-wise, pick up the victory. But of course, it's because they got involved. Because really, looking at Bray Wyatt's career right now, the only real losses that he's been getting is WrestleMania matches against top names, like with Cena and Undertaker.
Yeah, it's really when he's facing, doesn't bother me.
When he's facing everyone else, he's dominating over them. Dean Ambrose, Ryback, Daniel Bryan. He's been getting good victories, so having him lose because it wasn't a clean victory is because they got involved. It doesn't bother me very much. I'm just like, okay, you're having a great match with Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. Of course, they come out and have to ruin the damn thing. That actually ruined Raw for me. When the second they came out, I'm like, yep, this show's done for me. I'm done with this show.
Yeah, but as far as the pay-per-view itself, just bringing everything full circle.
It was a great match, by the way.
It was a great. It was a great. It was a very great match. I loved it.
Yeah, but bringing everything full circle, I was actually pretty satisfied with this surprise Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. All the blemishes all aside, if I had to give this thing a rating, just because obviously the Kevin Owens match carried this thing alone, I'm going to give this thing a full beard, 4 out of 5 stars.
For me, the only real thing that actually kept the event alive in my eyes was the Kevin Owens and Cena, obviously, and the title match. Everything else was just Neville and Bo Dallas don't get any complaints from me. It was just a filler match, but it was nothing spectacular. But when it comes to the 2 chamber matches, the Divas title match, those were just
for a pay-per-view
from between mess and a garbage. From a mess match to a garbage match. That's a better way of putting it. I have to give this one just a classic goatee. Because it was only those 2 matches that were my saving grace. But when it comes to the whole pay-per-view, no.
Brian, what do you got?
I agree with Tarek. Basically, okay, for a pay-per-view named Elimination Chamber, your matches for that specific match type should be good, because that's what the pay-per-view is based upon. Okay, and one was good, the other one was garbage. Okay, so the John Cena versus Kevin Owens match and the Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins indeed bring it up for me. But when your Elimination Chamber matches aren't up to snuff and the pay-per-view is called Elimination Chamber, I can't go any higher than a classic OT.
Okay, that's fair.
Because, yeah, Kevin Owens versus John Cena is a 5-star match, but when it's on a pay-per-view called Elimination Chamber, and the Elimination Chamber matches are below average, and it doesn't... It only brings the pay-per-view up so much.
when you're pretty much when you're the gimmick of your matches or of your event falls short. The main thing you're talking about is a one-on-one match. Granted, it's Brian and my match of the year so far, but still, it's like that's the one everyone's talking about, not the chamber matches. That is what the event is. Yeah, that's the problem. That's a problem. That's the negative things that you have to talk about in this event are the chamber matches. That's
just the entire point of the pay-per-view.
That's a what was it? Fail turtle?
Failure turtle.
That's a failure turtle.
Well,
if
hey,
I've ever seen one.
I'll tell you what. With the exception, how often do we get bad Elimination Chamber matches? We're talking about bad ones outside of December, and just this one.
And I wouldn't even call that a bad one.
I would.
I was entertained by that,
even
whether
so,
it was a mess or not.
Even so, my point stands. How often do we get legitimately bad chamber matches?
Twice.
Really, this is the only bad one.
Yeah.
These are the only real bad ones that I can actually really recall.
Everyone's allowed one.
Everybody.
That's
Thanks,
my
Spider-Man.
Yeah, but when both of them are on one pay-per-view.
So we got them all the way out of the way now.
Yeah, but I can't justify this pay-per-view.
Not saying
if they are.
I'm just looking towards the horizon,
yeah.
and looking
Except
to
for
better, brighter future.
Here's the problem with the Elimination Chamber. I'll just say this now. You've done basically everything you can do with the Elimination Chamber. So it's like when they got rid of the Elimination Chamber, I was like, okay, good. There wasn't much else you could do with it. You've done every spot that you can possibly do. You've done the falling off the top. You've done the flying off the pods. You've done the going through the pods. The only thing you haven't done is getting flung through the door.
Well, hey, there's still time for that next year.
No, but I mean, like, there's not much you can do with an Elimination Chamber match anymore. So I'd be fine.
You know what?
If we gave it a couple years off.
Okay, couple years off, sure, but I won't basically say I. It's just because I like the chamber match as the concept.
I like the concept,
but
yeah.
This is how I'm ending. This is my final thoughts when it comes to the chamber match. I feel like it's such a great idea that the spots are just additional. They're the sprinkles on top of our Elimination Chamber ice cream. Back to food now. Great.
Hey,
but yeah,
look what you did.
This is my. It's okay. We keep talking about appetizers. I'm moving on to dessert. There you go. Win. But yeah, it's. I feel like the spots are the sprinkles to our Elimination Chamber ice cream cone, because the chamber on its own is a delicious treat.
Okay, let's go with that.
And the spots are just the added bonus. And if there's in a chamber match that doesn't have those,
but when your
sprinkles,
spots are shit.
But when I'd rather have
chocolate sprinkles.
I was going to say stale sprinkles.
Stale chocolate sprinkles.
I have no complaints with
chocolate sprinkles are awesome.
Yeah. I was like, what do you have against chocolate?
What do you have against regular sprinkles? We got to quantify them.
Sprinkles are fine.
You know what? They're just stale, okay?
Stale
when they're stale,
whatever.
They take the lick and you're just like, it's jamming into your gums and all that. That's... You don't need it, because you just have the Elimination Chamber match on its own.
This analogy went to a very strange place.
Well, I'm still trying to make a point. Like, it doesn't need the spots to be a good concept. You just have the concept alone, and that's what sold me.
I totally get that. In all seriousness, I totally get that. But you know
I
what?
bet you do.
I do. But you know what? We also want to know what you have to say about the Elimination Chamber match. And just the Elimination Chamber match in general. So as always, you can drop us a line at the usual channels. You can always comment on this video. If you like what you hear, Feel free to like this video and subscribe to us if you want more shows like this every single week. Also, you can like us on Facebook if you haven't already. Just run a search for the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Follow us on Twitter at ScholarsOW, or just click the little annotations on our screen, or follow us there to our individual Twitter accounts, where, at least I know, I usually end up live tweeting every pay-per-view as it happens every single other weekend, or however you would quantify it now these days. Either way, follow us. Free entertainment in your face hole. There you go.
Your face hole.
In your face hole. In your earlobes. In your earballs.
Phrasings. Ear hubs.
Yes.
Phrasing.
You know what we're talking about, because we are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome.
Let's go reinforce my earballs.
Let's go watch Kevin.